Hey guys, it's Leslie and welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to chat about a February TBR. I know we're almost halfway through February, but I've been a little slumpy since the end of January. I read a ton in January, like 22 books, so and a lot of those were on audiobook. So I will always try to differentiate between the actual reading and the listening, but I just have been kind of over the whole reading thing. So I'm trying to continue trying new books to see if I feel compelled to really pick up a book and keep reading. So I'm just going to go over the ones that I have, I guess, on my radar, and maybe you can leave in the comments which one I should definitely read or which ones I should 100% skip. So let's just start with the ones that I have on audiobook. That's particularly what I'm feeling adverse to. I just have not been interested in listening to audiobooks. I actually have been a little bit more into watching Netflix, which I'm not a huge TV watcher. If you ask my husband or my best friends, they're always like, "Did you see this show?" And I'm like, "No, I don't really watch TV." But my husband and I started watching The Haunting of Hill House, and I'm super into it, but we can only watch like a couple episodes at a time, so, which is nice. It's like, you know, the anti-binge culture thing because, you know, he works and we have kids, so you can only watch a couple episodes here and there. So, you know, it's been, you know, kind of nice to be anticipating watching another, you know, episode. So I think that's a little bit why my book life, my reading life hasn't been great. So let's go with the audiobooks. I have The Trouble with Goats and Sheep by Joanna Cannon. I've started this. I actually really do like it. So when I have like a stretch of time, I do look forward to listening to it. So I'm going to keep listening to that one. I should be able to finish that one hopefully by the end of the week. I also have The Japanese Lover by Isabel Allende. I started listening to this. I think I've listened to a couple of hours, and I liked it as well, but I wasn't like super compelled to keep listening. I probably should listen to like another half an hour, 45 minutes, and see how I feel. A friend of mine recommended this to me because she's really into Allende, so I do want to give it a fair shot so I can talk to her about it, but if you have opinions on either of those, let me know. I also have on just like an ebook For an Extraordinary Union by Alyssa Cole. This is like a historical fiction romance that features a woman of color, and I believe the author is also African American. So I do want to read that. It's for a Read Harder challenge. I just can't really get into it, so I got to give it a better shot. I need to dedicate some time to it. I also have checked out a bunch of books from the library, so we'll just go over those quickly. 3 of the books from the library I definitely want to read. They're all for like book club / buddy reads. So the first one is The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. This is super popular. It's about a family in the 70s who moved to Alaska. I think there's a lot of themes of PTSD and what do you call it? Like domestic abuse. I really want to read this, and The Nightingale is probably one of my all-time favorite books, which I want to reread this year. So if anyone wants to do a buddy read on that, let me know. So I do want to read this. I read literally the first chapter and I really liked it. So I just need to continue with this one. The next is a buddy read that I'm doing with Summer over at Summer Dawn, and that's Sense and Sensibility. We're supposed to start this on Valentine's Day, and I have not read an Austen novel since I think it was high school. I'm pretty sure it wasn't college, and I did not like it. It was Pride and Prejudice. I know everyone loves it. I was not a fan. I just read something or heard something about how this is about 2 sisters, one who's much more like logical and rote, and the other one is much more whimsy and emotional. And I'm interested in that because I have an older brother, and he and I are about as different as they come, but I'm like the logical, boring, rote one, and he's highly emotional and more fanciful. So if that's how this is, then maybe it would give some insight to my brothers and my relationship, and that would be really interesting. So I am actually looking forward to this, and I'm going to try with Summer to do a proper buddy read, which I have failed miserably in every attempt to do one, but I'm gonna really try, so let's do it, Summer. The next one for a book club of sorts is with Robert at Barter Hordes, and this month he's doing The Color Purple by Alice Walker. I've never read it, I've never seen the movie. Really, I don't know much about it, and I don't know, that's all I can say. I'm pretty sure it's like a African-American story in the South. Hear all really good things about it. This is a mashup of two of Alice Walker's books, so I am looking forward to trying this one out. I have two other books that the holds just came up. So one of them is Never World Wake by Marisha Pessel. I read Night Film, which I really liked, and this is her YA story. It's supposed to be, I think, not quite a fantasy, but maybe dystopian. I really have no idea. So maybe I'll try this one. I have not read YA in quite a while, so this one may be something that would help a slump. I don't know. I also have My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyankin Braithwaite. I think that's how you say it. This one actually sounded kind of funny, which I haven't read a book that's funny. I know the title does not suggest humor, but I think it's a little, I believe this is like a dark comedy. I've heard pretty mixed reviews on this, so I don't know. This is actually just a 7-day hold for my library, so if I don't get to it right away, I have to return it. So I might just read a chapter or two and see if I'm into it, if I like the writing style, and we'll see. I really don't know more than that. And the last book is one that I've never heard anyone talk about, so I'm just curious if anyone has read it. I just happened upon it one day, and it is called Gone to Soldiers by Marge Piercy. I know this is a World War II story, and I've actually read just about 60 pages of it. This guy is a chunker. It's about 750 pages, so it's long, but it's written from like 10 different perspectives of people in World War II. So you have some kids, you have some Americans, you have some French people. Some of them are related. I'm learning that I think the people are more related than at first I thought. And I do like this, but for some reason I can't force myself to pick it up and read it. I think this was published in the late 80s, and it gets, you know, like amazing reviews. It had good reviews on Goodreads. So has anyone read this? Is it worth trying to trudge through 700 pages? I am trying to read one long book a month, and so far in February I have not done that. I just keep renewing the hold of this at the library because it doesn't seem to be super popular, so no one's requesting it, but I don't know. Anyone interested in this? Anyone want to buddy read this with me and catch up to my 60 pages? Let me know. And the last book that I hope I can get to, again, this is for another book club. I actually just forgot about it. And that is Virgil Wander by Leaf Anger. I started reading this in the fall and just didn't continue. I was kind of in a weird mood then. I guess that's the theme of my life these days. I want to read this. This is to go with the No Thanks We're Booked podcast with Molly from Molly Reads and Katie from Life Between Words. I do want to read this. It's not very long. This actually I own. Molly sent this to me, or Molly and Katie sent this to me for being a patron of their podcast, which is super nice. And so they're doing like a book club with the patrons, and I do want to read this. I feel like I will really like it. I like the themes. That one, if you've read this one, let me know as well. So that's basically it. Are any of those books worth reading? Am I going to get out of this slump? I know that in March, I will just let you know now, I will definitely be doing middle grade March, reading middle grade books for a lot of the month. I don't know if I'll only read middle grade, but I loved participating last year. I'm excited about it. I know there's a bunch of titles that I just need to get to. Actually, quite a few classics. When I was at the library today, I saw that Huck Finn and Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm were both considered like a middle grade. They were in the juvenile section of my library, which I did not know that. So that was kind of cool. And I'm just super looking forward to it. I hope to read maybe some Little House on the Prairie, which I have not read in forever. So throwing that out there, keep that on your radar if you're interested in reading any middle grade. And I guess I will see you next time. Bye.